What's going on, everyone? This is T from Focus Trades, and this is our free training video on the open level day trading setup. In this video, I'm going to give you guys a nice introduction to the open level setup and a nice little brief overview of what this setup entails, and then we're going to run through some of my recent trades using this setup, and then we'll discuss quickly how you can find these opportunities on a day-to-day basis. So let's jump right into it here, guys. The open level setup. This setup is simply a low risk, high reward setup that allows us to enter stocks at crucial turning points of the session with very little risk. Now, all these trades, guys, they are taken and they are 100% revolved around a stock's open level. And I define the open level as the price the stock opened this session at. So on Monday morning, if the stock you're watching opens at $100 per share, $100 right there, that's your line in the sand. $100, that is your open level. And this entire strategy is going to be based around price movement at that level. And we're going to jump into the specifics, guys, but by placing entries at the open, we are allowing ourselves to be positioned to catch potentially big moves while still remaining in a position to cut losses quickly. So far, my experience of the open level has been wonderful, guys. Over the past month and a half to 2 months, this setup alone has brought in an additional $2,000, $3,000 to $4,000 of profits week after week with me. And the losses are so small and so controllable, guys, and the returns are so sweet with this setup that I truly feel with the open level setup alone, from right now, mid-June till Christmas time, my goal is to bank $100,000 minimum of profits from this setup alone, because it has that ideal combination for any trade setup, guys. The potential for big returns and the ability to keep losses small. The open level setup is a great setup to begin to implement whether you're brand new to trading or been trading for years. I've only been working this setup for the past few months, guys, and it has been killer so far and has completely taken my trading personally to a different level of consistency. So we're going to jump into charts now, guys, and discuss the specifics of the open level setup. Alright, so what I'm going to show you guys here is an example of what I call the open level breakout. And the open level breakout, guys, nice and simple, is when a stock makes its opening level and begins to immediately pull back, but then at some point early in the session returns back to its open price, breaks out above that price, and then goes on a move to new highs. So this is a trading software called tradingsim.com, and this allows us to replay, price action for any stock on any given day. So this allows me to actually play back the stock's price action that I traded, so I can kind of walk you guys through what I was thinking and what I was seeing in real time. So this is a trade, guys, in CLF, Cleveland Cliffs, that I took last Friday on July 20th. Let me see. Yes, last Friday, July 20th. So CLF announced earnings before the market opened Friday, guys, and they gapped higher. So step one for any open level trade, guys, is simply to identify the open. So I'm going to hit play now. And now this is just showing us CLF's price action in real time for that session, guys. So as you can see, CLF gapped open on Friday, much higher on positive earnings, but immediately began to dip from the open. So hover over this bar right here, guys, and we can see that CLF opened the session Friday at $9.43 per share. That's our open level. That is our line in the sand. And now for this trade, guys, for this setup, everything is 100% revolved around that level. So typically what I like to do, guys, is get some kind of indicator, and I like to come in here and drop a line right there at that open level price. This is personally what I do every single morning on any stock I'm watching, and that is step one, guys. Identify the open level. And now there's many different ways you can play the open level, but like I said, this is an example of what I call an open level breakout. A stock gaps higher but begins to fall from its open. So I'm going to fast forward through the price action here a bit, guys, and you can see that for the first half hour of the session, CLF did nothing but pull back. Made our open right here, and we just fell back for the first, 30 minutes of the session. So this is exactly what I want to see, guys. On a stock that gaps open higher, has a lot of momentum behind it, has a lot of positive news behind it, this is exactly what I want to see take place. So at this point in the open level trade, I am simply sitting here, guys, like a hunter with my finger on the trigger, and I'm just patiently waiting for the stock to come back up here, break above that 943 open level, and move to the upside. And unless that happens, guys, there's simply nothing to do. So this one required some patience, but we're going to fast forward a bit here, and right around 11 o'clock or so, I began to get what I wanted, guys. Nice recovery here for CLF, and as you can see, it came up here and was just testing and testing that open level. This does require a bit of patience, guys. It's a very fast-paced trade, but it still requires some patience. Don't go buy calls and don't go long on a simple touch of that open level. Have some patience and wait for a true crystal clear break of that opening level. And in this particular instance, guys, that took place around 11 o'clock. So as you can see, around 11 o'clock, these bars started getting some strength, and we began to poke our head above that open level, guys. And it was right around this time on this bar right here that I took my position. So you don't want to rush in, when we touch that open level and when we barely break above it. What I'm looking for, guys, is a nice crystal clear bar breaking above that open level, and that is where I take my position. And this is the most important element of this trade right here, guys. That low risk entry. The entire basis of this trade, guys, the entire thesis and thought process behind this CLF trade is that we opened up higher with a lot of momentum, but we began to fall right from the open. However, buyers came back in and they pushed us up here to the day's highs, they pushed us to the open, and we now have enough buying power coming in, enough demand for shares to boost us above that open level. The break of the open level to the upside is what pulled us into the trade, and that's the beauty of it from the risk management standpoint. This trade is over, and we can say to ourselves, I am wrong, and it's okay to say that, guys, in trading. You need to be able to admit to yourself when you are wrong. We are wrong on this trade. Should this stock pull back and break back below the open level? Now again, just like on our entries, you don't want to be super tight to the cent, but this trade is over, guys, and you can keep a very small loss if you take your exit when the stock breaks to the downside. So at this point in CLF, I had my position, I bought my calls, I got the open level breakout I was looking for, and this was a picture perfect example, guys, of an open level trade. We broke above the open here. We never came back to threaten that open. My tight stop was never in jeopardy. And I'll just save you guys the time and fast forward a bit here. And as you can see, CLF made one hell of a move. Now, this was a Friday trade for me, guys. I had to go do some personal things, so I wasn't able to sit on the trade very long, but nonetheless, on that breakout, I bought $1,000 worth of options calls, and about 13 minutes later, I sold those calls for a 25% return, and that was good for $250. So 10-15 minute move, quick $250, and again, the number to focus on there, guys, is the 25% return. Because if this was my typical position size trade, then you're talking a $2,000 to $3,000 return in 10-15 minutes. But nonetheless, guys, any setup that can produce a low risk entry that can give you a 10, 20, 30% return from a few bars, that is incredibly powerful. Now sometimes, guys, these will move on and just make crazy stupid runs, and that's what CLF did here on Friday. It just made a massive move all the way up here to 1040 or so, and that's the kind of thing that can happen, guys, when you buy at such a crucial point. When you're initiating a position at the open, you're essentially putting your position on at ground zero. A lot of things can happen from there, but again guys, perfect example. We identified that open level, that is step number 1, and then step number 2 is to simply be patient and play the stock to the upside. We were looking for a move to the upside in CLF because we gapped higher on positive earnings. Once that initial profit taking took place, once that was over with guys, the buyers came back in and we got our breakout right here. If the trade didn't work and it came back and dipped below the open, that's where we would have taken our exit, take a small paper cut loss, get the hell out, and move on to the next one. But like they often do, the buyers continued to come in guys on that breakout, and CLF turned into a picture perfect example of an open level breakout. 25% return in 10-15 minutes. I will take that every single day, left and right. That kind of move right there guys, from here to there, that simple, easy to identify move, that right there alone can produce you a 6-figure income over the course of a calendar year. It might sound crazy, but think of that. Take a step back and think. 25% return on investment because of that leverage and options in 10-15 minutes. You do not need massive capital guys when you can catch returns like that with consistency to begin bringing in $1,000 to $2,000 of profits every week. So I love this setup because of that low risk entry point, and you're buying at such a crucial point in the stock that buyers often come in and boost you higher. So this was a great example of an open level breakout, and we're going to jump into another example now from a few days ago from Johnson & Johnson. Alright, so this was my Johnson & Johnson trade from last Wednesday, the 17th of July. And as you can see guys, big time gap open higher for J&J on positive earnings. And again, what is step 1 here? We want to identify that open level immediately. So the open level here for J&J, 128.53. First thing I do, go get my line. And there we go. There's my line in the sand. That's the magic line. And immediately guys, after the open, Johnson & Johnson began to pull back. And when I see that taking place, a stock that has a lot of momentum behind it to the upside, has gapped higher on positive earnings, I get excited. Now, as I mentioned guys, you want to have some patience. I don't necessarily like to buy on the first immediate bar, and this is a good example. Johnson & Johnson opened here, we dipped, and then went back and broke above the open. Technically, that's an open level breakout, but I like to be patient guys, because the first bar, you have so much profit taking, distribution, all kinds of things going on. I like to hang tight. And we'll fast forward here a bit. Whoops, spoil that surprise. And I got just what I was hoping for here in J&J guys. A nice pullback from the open, and as you know from CLF, at this point, I'm ready, finger on the trigger, to take my long position should the stock reach that open and break through on a nice strong volume bar. And we'll go forward here a few minutes guys, and as you're going to see, we got exactly what we were looking for on J&J. Buyers came in, they broke the stock above the open level, and again, that's crystal clear right there guys. That's a nice breakout. As soon as that happened, right around this range, right above the open, that's where I took my position. And we'll fast forward here a bit guys, and all you need is a few bars in your direction, and you got a nice winning trade on your hands. So Johnson & Johnson, another example of an open level breakout to the upside. Step 1, identify the open level. Our open level was 128.53. Step 2, have some patience and let the move play out. Profit takers came in early, they pushed Johnson & Johnson down, but the buyers returned, we broke above that open level on some strength, and we got a nice move. Now, over the course of the day, J&J didn't really go on to make too massive of a move guys from the open, and nonetheless, this is a trade where I took my position on the open level break, and I rode 1, 2, 3 bars, and again, 15 minutes for a nice return on J&J. And it can really be as simple as that guys. Step 1, identify the open level. Step 2, sit back with patience and let the price action play out. And step 3, when the buyers return and we break the stock back above that open, pull the trigger. And again, see the beauty of this, guys. This was another 20% return in 10-15 minutes. But had I gone long here and the stock reversed on me and broke back below that open, I am exiting that trade as quick as I can, guys. And even on trades where I've been putting $5,000-$6,000 to work, I'm getting out at $100 losses. And a $100 loss on a $5,000 position, guys, that's really damn good. So these trades just offer us so much potential reward. But if you execute it correctly on the risk management side, you're not going to get your ass handed to you. So let's jump into another example now. One final example from Blackberry last week. Alright guys, so this is BB Blackberry stock from the 19th of July. So that was last Thursday. So again, step 1 here would have been identify that open level. And as you can see by the opening bar, we started the day here at 993. So come in here, put that line in the sand. And there we go, guys. So this was an interesting one. This is a really sloppy one because Blackberry did multiple times over the course of the day break above, break below, really messy at that open level. And typically, guys, 9 times out of 10, I avoid setups like that. Almost all of my open level trades, they look like CLF or J&J. Very clean, and it's kind of, one move across the open to the upside or the downside, and it works out well. However, one thing I like to combine with this open level is strong volume. And if you can catch a very strong bar with bigger, volume than the stock has had all day, breaking above that open level, that can be another great low risk entry, guys. So that's exactly what happened here on Blackberry. Got our line in the sand right here. We are just screwing around, messy all day. And as you can see, guys, by the volume is pretty quiet in BB. Nothing abnormal, pretty quiet until buyers galore came in. Out of nowhere, massive bar on Blackberry, breaking above the open on some dumb strength on a huge volume bar. I took my position on this bar here, guys, and that was just crazy momentum. And we'll fast forward now, and this turned out to be a great quick trade that you literally could have held as long as you want and just had beautiful strength behind it. So there's an example, guys, of a sloppier open level play, but one thing that we focus on a lot in the Focus Trades group is volume. Volume right here, guys, is a measurement of how much money is coming in and out of the stock. We as a Focus Trades team, we've been, focusing together on volume for the past year or so now. And one of the main things we like to do is buy stocks as volume is blowing up. So when you can combine huge volume with that open level breakout, they're big time trades, guys. So this was another great trade in BB. Nice quick $200-300 on that breakout. And now we're going to jump into one final open level breakout review from Bank of America last week, and that was good for $1,000 in a few minutes. Alright, so here's a chart for Bank of America, and one thing I'm really enjoying lately, guys, and finding even more success with is using this open level setup on stocks that have a catalyst. And right now we are, smack dab in the middle of earnings season. Earnings obviously is a big catalyst. So on the 16th, last Monday, Bank of America announced earnings, and here's how they opened up, guys. So waiting for this data here to download. So there we are, guys. The Bank of America on Monday gapped higher after the nice earnings report. And here we go. Step 1, identify our open. 28.78 was the open here today. There goes your magic line in the sand. Nope, that's not the one. So there we go. Step 1, identify that open level. There's our magic line. Step 2, guys, patiently wait for the stock to play out. So I'm going to fast forward things here a bit, and we're going to drop down to the 1 minute bar just to get a better view here. And again, like I mentioned, guys, avoid that first minute or so. Those can be very volatile times for a stock in the first 30 seconds to a minute. Let's have some patience. Let's sit back and let everyone else kind of do that battle and do that dance here at the open. So let me rewind that. So patience was big on this one, guys, but again, this is a stock in play on Monday. It just announced earnings, they went positive. This is where you should be focused. Focus on the stocks that are in play. And there we go, guys. We got the breakout above the open, and that is when I took my position. So it immediately began to run in my favor, guys. And this is often what can happen with the open level trades. The first bar will really screw around, and that second bar very quickly will break above the open and go on a hell of a move. So again, what did we have here? We had a stock with a catalyst. It was a stock in play, gapping higher on good earnings. You should already be understanding, guys, and have the big picture awareness that this is going to be a stock you should be looking to play to the upside today. And the open level just allows us to get in here, down here at ground zero with a very low risk entry. So Bank of America went on to make a huge move for the day, guys, and I simply took my piece, and that was good for a 18% return, $1,000 profit in just about 12 minutes. So I took my entry right here, guys, and I rode right till about quarter of, and took my piece of the action right here in this neighborhood. And there you go, guys. One of those a day, that's the job. You don't need huge capital, you don't need massive returns. Just catching one of these a week can make a huge difference in your trading results. For me personally, guys, just catching one of these open level setups per day has brought my trading to a whole new level of consistency. It's changed a lot of things for me financially, and as I mentioned earlier, I truly believe this is a setup that I can use going forward to close a minimum of $100,000 of profits from now until Christmas time. $4,000 of profit a week will hit that goal, guys, and with this setup that just generates 20, 30, even 50% returns left and right while keeping those losses small, this is the kind of setup that can make a goal like that possible. So the open level setup, guys, step 1, identify that open of a stock. Step 2, sit back with some patience and just be ready to pull the trigger. And as I mentioned before, you don't want to necessarily go jumping in on the very slightest break of that open, but when it's obvious that the open has been broken, guys, that's when I take my position. Now, there's a lot of other elements to the open level trade. You can trade this to the downside. You can trade, reverse setups with the open level. And there's a lot of other dynamics as far as when should you take profit, should you add to your position, incorporating sector analysis, incorporating the market. And truthfully, guys, while this is a powerful setup, it's most powerful when played on the right stocks. So that's something that I teach and we focus on here heavily as a team, in the Focus Trades family, is day after day, Monday through Friday, what names are in play, what names are strongest, what sector is the strongest. Simply put, where is the money going? Because that is where we can get the most powerful moves, where the institutional demand is taking place. So while you can take this setup, guys, and begin to implement it, it's going to be most powerful and most successful on stocks that have an edge, that have some momentum, on stocks that are in play. And learning to identify, how you can spot those opportunities and where to look. It can be hard, guys, but that's something we as a Focus Trades team make very easy, and we can teach you how to find opportunities with the open level setup and many more on a day-to-day basis. So I hope you found this video interesting, guys. I hope the open level setup excites you guys, opens your eyes to some of the potential and the low risk, high reward opportunities that are available to us on a day-to-day basis. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and search Focus Trades. We're gonna have videos on there every day, guys, reviewing my open level trades and much, much more. And if you haven't already, I definitely suggest checking us out over at the Focus Trades team. Plain and simple, guys, I'm a blessed individual. My father's a trader, he's a professional investor, and when I was 14, 15, he began to teach me the game, and long story short, I was born to do this. I dropped out of school freshman year, homeschooled myself, and threw my heart into this game. I make my living, I support myself 100% from my trading profits, and I started the Focus Trades group to share my knowledge with others in an incredibly affordable way. Membership to our group, guys, $99 for an entire year of access, but because you signed up for this video, I'm going to give you guys a deal right now. Sign up for Focus Trades for 365 days, an entire year of access for just $89. Usually $99.99, guys. We're going to do $89.99 today. This is an incredibly small investment in a team, in a group that can provide you an education and provide you, the surrounding and the structure and support you need to turn into a very profitable trader. We have 18, 19-year-old kids in our group making $500 to $1,000 per week with very, small, relatively small accounts, because they're putting their hearts into it and they're following the few things that truly matter when it comes to trading successfully. So if you're interested in joining the team, guys, and getting access to all of our training materials, our daily watch list, training videos such as more information on the open level strategy, as well as access to our private chat rooms, my personal real-time trade alerts, you can click the link below in 100% risk-free. Join Focus Trades now. $89.99, and we'll give you guys a 30-day risk-free guarantee. Join our team for $89, guys. It's such a small investment in yourself, and if you don't think we're the best goddamn trading group you've seen or that you've been a part of in 30 days, then I will gladly give you your $89.99 back immediately. So click the link below, guys. Come work with our team and come nail profitable setups like this with us day after day. Hope to see you in the chat soon.